The following is a college course based on the textbooks Marketing and Marketing the Core, written by Karen Berkowitz Hartley and Rodelius, and published by McGraw-Hill Irwin Publishers.
For me, anyhow, surfing is an intimate personal relationship with nature. It's that immersion in the water, it's that motion of the water. Sliding down the face of a moving mass of water, a wave, is an experience that I have not found in any other sport. And then when it's over and I go home, I'm completely at ease. You know, nothing can bother me at that point.
Andrew Cowell has been riding waves in Southern California since he was 11. He's a successful special events coordinator, husband and father, and still a surfer at heart. He is also the proud owner of a Dewey Weber surfboard. The story of how Andrew picked this board at this point in his life among all the others he could have chosen is not only about Andrew and who he is, it's also about a unique company and what they've learned about consumers and their behavior. In the late 50s and early 60s, surfing took the nation by storm. From Rincon to San Onofre, a new culture evolved on the beaches of Southern California. At the forefront of this culture was a man who is now a legend in the sport, a blonde-haired, tanned bundle of athletic energy named Dewey Weber.
Dewey Weber was a star surfer in the late 50s. He was pretty much recognized as one of the best surfers around. He changed the style of surfing forever. He was what was termed as a hot dogger, which meant he did more on the waves than had ever been done before. And his primary focus had been, up until that time, making the Olympic team in wrestling. Dislocated an elbow in the Olympic trials, and that was the end of his wrestling career. So he needed to find another focus, and he thought, oh, what great fun, make money out of surfing. So he figured, well, how do I make a living out of this? Went to his dad, borrowed $1,500, and opened his first surf shop on the beach in Venice, California in 1960. It was just a small two-room building on the beach in Venice. And within 4 years, he'd parlayed that to 3,000 square feet. What he's most remembered for is setting the tone for marketing. What he did in marketing throughout the 60s has sort of set the standard that's still followed today.
While Dewey Weber was manufacturing and selling surfboards during the 1960s, a generation was falling in love with surfing.
Surfing is very much a lifestyle for me. I am a child of the late 60s, early 70s period. I was very influenced by hippies, that love peace movement of that time frame. At that time, surfing was going through tremendous changes. And the Dewey Weber logo and the Dewey Weber name moved with those changes.
While an avid surfer through his 20s, Andrew stopped surfing because he moved to Colorado with his wife and family. But then the Cowell family returned to Southern California, and Andrew once again felt compelled to surf. And that meant purchasing a new surfboard.
Hey, Corey.
Hey, Andy, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Good.
It's good to see you.
Nice day, huh?
Yeah, great day. Did you surf today?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, where?
Down at Doheny River mouth.
The process that led Andrew to buy a Dewey Weber surfboard is an excellent example of consumer behavior, the set of actions people take when they purchase and use products and services.
Real nice.
Yeah, it's really
I call it the
nice.
mellow yellow.
Yeah.
This also includes the mental and social processes that come before and after these actions. By understanding consumer behavior, we can understand why people buy one product over another and how this information can be used to improve a company's marketing program.
Well, what I was thinking about is maybe going a little shorter for summertime. You know, about 8'6".
Consumer behavior is the engine that drives the purchase decision process, the stages a buyer may pass through as he or she makes choices about which product or service to buy. In most cases, this process involves problem recognition, an information search, alternative evaluation, the purchase decision itself, and post-purchase behavior. The process begins when a consumer like Andrew recognizes a difference between what he has and what he wants. That is, he perceives a problem or need that could be satisfied by buying a product or service.
Well, so what do we need to do to order this thing?
Well, you've got the length figured out. You want to go with an 8/6?
Right.
Okay.
Right, cool.
When you start surfing, if you're truly a surfer, it's not a matter of wanting to return, it's a matter of need. Surfing is an addiction. It's plain and simple. You can't get away from it. It's part of who you are. The need to buy a new surfboard is innate in surfers. A new surfboard is like a new car to someone else. You know, it's sexy. It's just cool. So when I returned from Colorado, my first initial response was, yeah, I've got 3 surfboards at home, but I need a new one. And so then I start looking for places that I'm familiar with, and I run into Caroline Weber. And that's what's brought me to Weber today, is my association with her, and now with her sons.
It's got a clear deck, and then it also has a rocker.
While Andrew believed his need to buy was innate, companies such as Dewey Weber can help stimulate a need in consumers with advertising and other promotional activities.
We promote to our target market through our print advertising, through our competitive surf team, also through our website, and then we also do a trade show every year to get in front of our wholesale customers. Our print advertising is probably our most important because our wholesale business is relatively large, and they really look to the kind of advertising we do to feel supported. It helps them sell product. They know that they're getting customers coming in their store because they saw our ad in Surfer Magazine. We do a product catalog every year that encompasses everything that we're selling that year, from surfboards to skateboards to clothing. It's available both to our wholesale accounts that we mail out to, and it's also available in our retail store.
In addition to the more customary types of promotion, the company uses the Weber Competition Team, a group of dedicated men, women, and kids that surf up and down the California coast.
Well, the team's great because they're the best advertisement that we have. They're at the beach every day. They're out in the water riding the waves. One of the reasons that we have a team is that so people can see people riding our boards and how they work. And they really help sell the boards.
We're out in the water. We ask people to try the board, use the board, and it's kind of a unique thing. We will all trade boards with everybody and say, try our board. You know, what do you think? Is it quality or is it not quality? And most of the time they'll come back saying, you know, you have a real quality product. It's a good board.
They're the best boards quality-wise. You just look at them, and the way that they do them are so completely different than other boards that they do. And there's so many different boards to choose from for different levels of surfing. And no matter where you are in surfing, if you try one of these boards, they're just the best.
They're perfect longboarding board. You know, they're just perfect for longboarding, nose riding. They're so smooth. Every Weber that I've ridden has been just so smooth and turns really nice, turns on a dime.
Finally, in ways Dewey Weber himself never imagined, the company's website addresses consumer needs and provides information by linking the company's products with the history and tradition of surfing around the world. The second step in the purchase decision process is the information search, a period in which the consumer seeks out potential purchase candidates that might satisfy his or her need. The time spent in this stage depends on the consumer's level of involvement in the purchase, meaning the significance of the purchase to that individual. Someone buying a t-shirt or wax from Dewey Weber would likely exhibit low involvement and speed quickly through the information search. On the other hand, someone like Andrew, who is highly involved and considering a major purchase, would conduct a thorough search that considers many sources of information.
Buying a surfboard is the most important thing that I do, period. Buying a car is just nothing. It's redundant. It's a tool that gets me to the beach. But a surfboard, It just makes me feel good. I get goosebumps buying a surfboard. I look through all the magazines. I try to see what people are riding, especially the pro riders. And then I take into account how I feel I ride and what kind of boards I've ridden in the past. I come and visit the store.
Perhaps the most valuable source of information was the Dewey Weber store, a sales venue designed to provide both information and assistance to potential consumers.
In the Dewey Weber store, we've created an old-fashioned surfboard shop. It's modeled just like the shops from the early 60s. We have a lot of nostalgia, old photos, definitely a friendly atmosphere. When you enter the store, the first thing you come to is the racks of surfboards, and there's every color in the rack. There's something for everybody, and it kind of lets you know that we focus on the surfboards.
Oh, there's Shay. Eric. Shay. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. This is Eric Savage. He took some photographs for us. Oh, right on. Yeah.
They're so friendly and helpful and courteous, and they just want you to have a good experience. And they want you to know that they're there for you. And it makes the whole experience of being in that shop very personable and very comforting.
Another valuable source of information for Andrew was word of mouth, the experiences related to him by friends and acquaintances in face-to-face conversations.
The word of mouth influence for me is critical. Where I surf locally, there are 5, 6, 7 individuals that ride Dewey Weber surfboards. And you see them daily, and you get the opportunity to watch how the surfboard works, how they particularly ride them, and you incorporate that into your mindset, think, I could be part of that.
While a consumer's involvement impacts the amount of research they conduct prior to a purchase, it can also affect a company's marketing strategy. To meet Andrew's needs, the Dewey Weber team provided a superior level of service that began during the information search.
Part of our philosophy has always been that our customer is significant. And so the most important thing that we've always done, and Dewey's philosophy always was, is that you needed to make a personal connection with your consumer. The most important thing in dealing with a customer is to find out where they're coming from and what their expectations are, and meet those expectations. We try and educate the consumer about the history of our product and what goes into our design process, what goes into our manufacturing, what gives the board value, and how that value will translate into enhancing their surfing experience.
You have your choice of all the logos up here.
Right.
I tried to relate with Andrew on a personal level and make sure that he was getting the board that he wanted.
Exactly.
Since he's coming back to surfing, it's really important that the board's going to work well for him. So it's really important that we connect on a personal level and assure him that he's making a good choice.
Once Andrew concluded his information search, he began to evaluate his alternatives based on what he'd learned. That is, the criteria he could use to purchase his surfboard, the brand names he would consider, and his perception of value with regard to different boards on the market. These factors formed the basis of his evaluative criteria, the objective and subjective attributes that he used to compare products. For Andrew, there was one major consideration.
Hey, Jerry. This is Andrew.
Oh, okay. Hi, Andy.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
All right. He's here for a shaving appointment.
Right. I got his blank right here. Let me grab it real quick.
To determine the value of the product that I bought, it all comes down to the shaper, I guess, the actual person who creates my vision of what I want to ride in the waves. As much as I love the Dewey Weber family and the Dewey Weber logo, if their shaper wasn't who he is and didn't have the abilities that he has, I probably would not have purchased the board. Fortunately, the Dewey Weber shop has a shaper of an extremely high quality, and this is where I am.
While Andrew evaluated his alternatives, and during each stage of the purchase decision process, 4 distinct influences helped shape his thinking: marketing mix influences, psychological influences, socio-cultural influences, and situational influences. Marketing mix influences include the 4 Ps: product, price, promotion, and place. Factors all controlled by Dewey Weber surfboards.
We position ourselves against competing brands by working hard to be the #1 quality brand on the market. We want to be high-end. We want to be the best-looking board. When you walk into a surf shop that carries multiple brands, we want people to walk in and say, well, okay, those are the nicest boards on the floor. And even if they're more expensive, they see value in that. And without sounding too corny, we are promoting cool. And when somebody buys a Dewey Weber surfboard, they're not just buying a surfboard, they're buying a little piece of cool.
The Weber's store is another aspect of the marketing mix.
The Dewey Weber Surf Shop is an experience in itself. It's sort of like a destination point. So when you come into this store, you get the whole experience of surfing. And buying a surfboard and learning the history of that particular board is all a part of the experience. Plus, we have a lot of memorabilia and history in the store, so you can sort of get a sense of the roots of the sport that you're going to participate in.
At work in concert with these marketing influences are psychological influences. Factors such as a person's self-concept, their attitudes, beliefs, and lifestyle. The analysis of these factors, also known as psychographics, enables companies to discover valuable insights into consumer behavior. A person's self-concept is a combination of the way they see themselves and how they think others see them. This self-concept is often reflected in the products a person buys.
I think the most important psychological influence in purchasing a Dewey Weber board is really connecting with Dewey Weber's energy. And that might sound weird, but people loved Dewey Weber. Everyone wanted to be Dewey Weber. So part of buying a Dewey Weber surfboard is connecting with that and connecting with the history of surfing. So it's more than just a surfboard.
Attitudes and beliefs also influence a purchase decision. An attitude is an inclination to respond to something either favorably or unfavorably.
Totally. Yeah, and I like the way, it's got...
Attitudes are shaped by beliefs, which reflect a consumer's view of how well a product will perform.
I think Andrew was like a lot of other people. He came in the store because he was already thinking about buying a Dewey Weber board. So he'd already identified with the brand. He'd already considered that as a possibility. So then it was just up to us to meet his needs and support him and making that decision.
Another important psychological factor that influenced Andrew's decision was his lifestyle, his way of living and spending time, what he considers important in life.
My lifestyle, how I view who I am, means everything to me, and I buy products based on that. I'm very involved in environmental issues. I'm very involved in my community. I'm involved with my children. I want to buy things that will enhance those areas of my life. And when I purchase something, I look to make sure that I'm going to continue to enhance and build on my lifestyle and who and what I believe I am.
At work with these internal psychological factors are external forces known as socio-cultural influences that arise from an individual's relationships with other people. Among the most important of these influences is the reference group, the friends or acquaintances to whom a person looks for self-assurance or to decide what's important or cool.
Surfing's a very small community, and that's part of the attraction. It's the camaraderie. It's that you can go to a beach and everyone knows you or everyone wants to know you, or you can meet people while you're in the water and you become a part of the group instantly. So peer pressure has a lot of influence on purchasing. So when you have surfers in the water that say, oh, I just bought this Dewey Weber surfboard and it's just great and do you want to try it? That's one of our biggest selling points.
Believe it or not, I am influenced by what other people do. And where I surf locally, there are 5, perhaps 7 individuals that ride Weber surfboards. And so, you know, you see them all the time, and you get the opportunity to see how they work, how a specific person rides it. And so, yes, you know, I'm influenced by what's going on out in the world. I mean, trends are trends, and as much as we may not want to be influenced by them, I believe we are.
Additional factors that affect consumer behavior are situational influences, things such as social and physical surroundings, as well as the purchase task itself. One of the most important of these influences on Andrew was the nostalgic, friendly atmosphere of the Dewey Weber Surf Shop.
I think people really enjoy coming to our store because it's so small and intimate. And because we're not overhead driven, that means that we can take as much time as necessary with each customer. You never feel rushed. You never feel that you had questions that no one had time to answer. And then you're surrounded by the whole feel of surfing.
How they treat me in the store is the greatest influence on whether or not I will spend my money there.
We can do that. Yeah, cool.
I can go anywhere and buy surf trunks, t-shirts, surfboards, but how I'm treated in the Dewey Weber shop makes me want to continue to return there because I know they're going to care for me.
And so, influenced by internal and external forces and using his evaluative criteria, Andrew developed his Evoked set, the list of brands he would consider among all the surfboards on the market. The choice came down to 2 boards.
It really looks stylish.
Okay.
I like that a lot.
Once the consumer has examined the various choices in his or her Evoked set, it's nearly time to make the purchase decision. But first, the consumer must decide from whom and when to buy. For Andrew, the choices were clear.
Buying a surfboard is very much a mind game. You have to play through your head all those factors of what's worked for you in the past. The reason I bought a Dewey Weber surfboard has nothing to do with cost. It has everything to do with the quality of the product. Of all the attributes of buying a Dewey Weber surfboard, there are 2 that stand out as the reason to buy. First and foremost is the help you get in the store. Those people, they're there. They want you to be happy. They want to sell you their product, sure, but they don't want to sell you something that you're not going to be happy with. In buying a custom-built surfboard, though, the attribute that stands out most in my mind is the shaper. The man who stands in that dark shaping bay and carves out of this raw block of foam this shape, this form that is going to work in the waves for you. And building that relationship is the attribute that makes me want to continue to buy surfboards here.
We make sure that the quality is just superb. We want the board to last. We want the customer to be happy with the board. That way they'll come back and get another board, or they'll send their friends in for a board.
Once Andrew decided to buy a Dewey Weber surfboard, he next had to decide when to buy. And that decision was affected by when he wanted to begin using his new board.
I bought my surfboard at this time of year for the simple reason that if you buy any later than springtime, meaning you're going into the summer months, you'll never see it for summer.
The final step in the buying process is post-purchase behavior. During this stage, consumers are able to compare the purchase against their expectations. At that point, they are either satisfied or dissatisfied. Dissatisfaction generally means a customer will not buy the same brand again. Satisfied consumers, however, tend to buy from the same company whenever the need arises. Therefore, many companies, including Dewey Weber, focus a great deal of attention on this phase of the purchase decision process in order to improve customer satisfaction and increase their repeat business.
It is important to know how satisfied our customers are. One of the things that we do with our customers is that we guarantee their satisfaction. So when they leave the store with a surfboard, we tell them, we want to hear back from you. If this board is not suiting your needs, if there's something that you're not enjoying, then we want you to come back because we want to work with you until we get it right.
That's awesome.
Besides that, I don't know.
Wow. Got some edge in the tail.
Yeah, well, I had him hard to hear me.
With our retail customers, we strongly suggest that they come back in and see us. We also see a lot of them locally. We're working on a customer survey that will go out with each one of them, as well as a callback. With our wholesale accounts, we are in constant communication with them. We call them almost every 2 weeks. So not only are we seeing what they need, we're checking on what they've just received. With our internet customers, it's a little bit more challenging because it's so impersonal. But we'd like to develop a website survey to gauge what people think of our website.
What Dewey Weber learned during their post-purchase discussion with Andrew was that he was thrilled with his new board.
The board that I purchased has met every expectation that I could have dreamed of. On a scale of 1 to 5, my satisfaction level is a 5. The board has met every expectation. The follow-up on the purchase of my board has been great. I mean, I see them at the beach. They want to know how it's working. I come in the store to buy T-shirts, wax, trunks. They want to know how the board's working. How's their product functioning for me? And to me, that's very comforting. It tells me that not only are they taking a concern about their product, but they're interested in me as a person.
Not only is Andrew a satisfied customer, he now has a relationship with Dewey Weber Surfboards, a relationship that is mutually beneficial. When all was said and done, Andrew used the purchase decision process to become a more informed consumer. The people at Dewey Weber, on the other hand, used their understanding of consumer behavior to provide better value to their customer.
My next purchase is very much determined on my satisfaction with this product. I have enough history and experience with the Webers now, and they have this incredible integrity about them, and they honor their products, and they honor their customers. So I know, no matter what, I'm going to be back.